Hello and welcome to Desert Rat Fiber Arts. I'm Desert Rat, but you can call me Lloyd. Okay, today we're on our next fiber in our fiber study for 2023. This week we're going to be doing Herdwick. And here's our sample here. These again come from Hearthside Fibers, and this particular one's in the International Collection. And just a disclaimer, I purchased this myself. I am not sponsored in any way, shape, or form from them. So I'm going to give an honest review on as far as the way I see things. So, again, I apologize that I didn't have anything out last week. I was very sick, and the week before that, I had to work in the office every day, and it's an hour drive out there. So that eats into my free time at the end of the day. So I wasn't able to do anything the week before that. So, Herdwick. According to this, it's the breed's from England. It's about 40 microns. And the staple length is 85 to 90 millimeters or 3.5 inches. And we'll take a look at the Field Guide to Fleece and see what it has to say about this in here. And this is a conservation breed. And oh, it is just so cute. Look at that. Look at that cute face. These are gorgeous little sheep. So, it does say in here that it's origins from England, from northwestern England. The fleece weights are between 3 to 4.5 pounds, or 1.25 to 2 kilograms. Staple length is 3 inches to 10 inches. Wow. 8 to 25 centimeters. The fiber diameter variable within fleece, and average would likely be 36 plus microns. And natural color is gray. Alright, the name Herdwick is thought to be derived from the Old Norse Herdvik, or sheep pasture. Lambs are born nearly black. As they grow, they quickly lighten to the breed's characteristic gray or gray-brown bodies with those charming white faces. And yes, they are very charming. Alright, so, Herdwick, a single fleece from this breed offers fiber lovers an unusual mix of natural colors and textures, and one of the most significant challenges in terms of processing. Oh boy. Amazing and wonderful things can be made from Herdwick. Locks are clumpy, dense, and composed of undercoat, hair, heterotypical hair, and kemp. Some parts of the fleece will contain more coarse fibers than others. Open out the locks to facilitate drafting and experiment. Combing may help separate some of the fiber types. Carding may work on shorter staple lengths, but use your coarsest carding cloth and a light touch. Instead of fighting the natural texture of the fiber mix, consider it a positive contribution to your finished yarn. Effects of dyes. Expect tweedy dye results because of the underlying natural colors. And the best uses, it says here, Herdwick lends itself to use in rugs, durable woven fabrics, or components for baskets and sculpture. If you can separate out the coarsest fibers, the undercoat will make a nice sweater, blanket, or hats. So, sounds like it's going to be an interesting spin for us this time. So let's take an actual look at the fiber here. It does feel a bit coarse, quite a bit coarse. Might not be that bad. Looks a bit hairy. You can see that in there. So let's pull off a staple length and pull that one, and then I just pull again. Pull from this. So yeah, we got a nice long staple length on this. According to this, she said 3.5 inches. But I'm going to say it's probably a lot more than that, and it's probably blended in together with the undercoat and the longer hairs. Here we have this says this is well past the end of this 6-inch ruler if we go with that. Oh my goodness. So if I pull this, let me just see if I can. Yeah, about 6 inches. This is a very, very long fiber. As you can see, it's got, it might be hard to see, but there are different colors in here and consistencies, it seems like. So it's going to be interesting to see how this spins up. But yeah, let me see if I can get that close enough. I don't know how well you can see the differences in the fiber itself, but we'll see what we get out of it. So again, I'm probably going to be doing a short back draw. I don't know, maybe I'll try a long draw on this. I don't know how well it will work. We'll see. And then of course I'll probably do a chain ply on it just because it's easier to do since it's one bobbin. So let me get my wheel, get things set up, and I'll be right back with you. Okay, it's the next day. The yarn has been washed and dried, and this is our finished product here. We got about 32 yards of it. It's roughly an Aran weight, about 8 wraps per inch. It does have a bit of drape to it, tiny bit of stretch, not a lot, and it's scratchy, so scratchy. Let me see if I can get this close to the camera here, and you can see just all these hairs that are sticking up here that you can just easily pull out. I think that's the Kemp, if I recall correctly. And while I was spinning it, it was just all over my pants. Those short fibers just kept falling out. Now, it did draft nicely. It spun up nicely. I didn't really have any problems with that. Tiny problem with plying, but that was just probably because I didn't have it twisted enough at the end when I started it. But in the long run, it plied up fine. It's just, for such a pretty sheep, it's not a very nice wool, to be honest. Now, the book did say that if you were to separate out the undercoat from the long hairs, that it would be a nice wool to make a sweater out of. This, however, is more for a rug or a saddle blanket or something that's not to be touching your skin. So I wouldn't recommend it for anything like that. So with that in mind, would I spin it again? Sure. If somebody gave it to me, I wouldn't go out of my way to buy it unless I had a project in mind for something that's kind of coarse and scratchy. If I were to wanted to make a nice rug or something like that, it would probably be really good for that. If someone gave it to me, I'm sure I would use it. I'd probably use it for stuffing or something else, and unless I really felt in the mood and tried to separate out the hairs from the undercoat to try to get that softer fibers that are under there. So that's my opinion on this anyways. It's not horrible, but not really usable for anything that I would use it for. So tell me, have you ever spun this stuff, the Herdwick? If you have, what were your results? How did you feel about it? Did you go through the trouble of separating out the undercoat from the long hairs? And if so, did you get actually a much nicer yarn out of it than what you get out of spinning it as is? So anyways, that's it. Until next time, happy crafting.